Hey guys, Caden here, and we're actually going to be doing something a little bit different today. Usually when I make these OG videos, it's about like things that are currently wrong in a season and then going on to predict what's going to be wrong the next season. That's still coming out, by the way, for the next, like, my Season 8 prediction in the works. So I'll probably wait till like the next actual BR season comes out to do that, but this one's going to be a little bit different. I had like an idea randomly, like earlier this week, I want to say, to go through and try to list off every bug that's ever existed in the OG game mode, and then progressively rank every season based on how accurate they were. Originally, when I was planning on doing this video, I was going to do like, we're gonna rank accuracy by how many things are broken, but as I kept on doing this, I made a realization that, as more seasons get implemented, there's just bound to be more bugs with the amount of new items that get added. So that's not really like a great way to base it off of. I'm just gonna base it off mostly like what was broken during a season and how drastically that affects gameplay. But there will still be statistics at the end of each season for like things that were broken and such. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Let me get my camera fixed up a little. That's fine. You can see that I have this sort of set up in the same manner that I have my currently wrong and OG list set up, but with like less spacing, because I decided to do like a little bit of actual formatting with bold and italic characters. Because I was just feeling lazy. I didn't really want to press the tab button a bunch of times. So we're just going to go ahead and get into it. Starting out with Season 1 of OG, going on to the assault rifle, and by the way, if it wasn't obvious, we'll be going over every like weapon, item, listing off the bugs that I was able to find. And also a quick disclaimer right here, there's going to be some shit that I missed. I'm not perfect, I'm not able to keep track of everything. I'm just looking over the wikis, over AlleyJack's tweets, over all of the other dudes that are posting about OG. I'm trying to copy over as much shit as I can from them, but I'm only one person. I can't get everything down, so I will be missing some stuff. There's a disclaimer there. But I want to say at least get 90% of the issues listed within here. So now, we're actually going to get into it now. Starting out with the assault rifle, the low tier has the incorrect icon and its ADS zoom is too zoomed in. The high tier AR, it has the same issues as the low tier, but it also has the incorrect model and textures. For the burst assault rifle, its name is incorrect. It should be assault rifle burst in parentheses. Their naming scheme in Season 1 was not that great. And the purple and gold rarities are in supply drops and they use modern stats. Next up, into the scoped assault rifle, its name is incorrect. It should be assault rifle parentheses scope. Use the incorrect icon, incorrect scope, an incorrect model on the purple rarity, and the gold rarity is in supply drops and uses modern stats. For the pump shotgun, the pellet spread is fixed when it should be random. I don't know if I have like good footage of this that I'd be able to show. If I have an older build of the game, I'll get onto it and then showcase it for you. But whenever you would shoot a shotgun, unlike how it's functioned like past Chapter 1 Season 5, the pellets would just go in random spots within the reticle. Kind of like if shotguns actually had blue. It was really bad. Anyways, after that, the minimum pellet rule is enabled. The equip speed is 0.433 seconds when it should be 0.333, and it uses the incorrect firing sound from like post-Season 8 up to like sometime in Chapter 5, I think. Anyway, for the tactical shotgun, the pellet spread is fixed when it should be random. The minimum pellet rule is enabled. Its equip speed is 0.416 seconds when it should be 0.333. The rarity is gray, green, and blue when it should be green, blue, and purple, and it uses the incorrect icon. Next up, we have the Tech 9 modeled SMG. I don't actually know if anything was wrong with this, so I just put nothing maybe, but it's not confirmed. I genuinely have no idea if there were any bugs with this thing during the actual Season 1. Next up, for the TAC SMG, it uses the incorrect tracers, incorrect reload sound effects, and the incorrect equip animation. Now we have the revolver. It uses the incorrect firing animation. Its equip speed is 0.433 seconds when it should be 0.333, and its ammo type is AR ammo when it should be light ammo. Now we move on to the semi-auto pistol, and good lord. The name is incorrect. It should just be pistol. and it's not even semi-auto either. The damage is 24, 25, and 26 when it should be 23, 24, and 25. Its structure damage is 24, 25, and 26 when it should be 25 for all rarities. The headshot multiplier is 2 when it should be 2.5. It has damage fall off. I put this here already. I forgot that I even put this down. It has used the incorrect icon, incorrect model and textures, and used the incorrect equip animation. Next up, we got the bolt action sniper. It has the incorrect icon on the purple and gold rarity, used the incorrect model on the purple and gold rarity, has the incorrect scope, and it uses the incorrect reload animation. Now for the semi-auto sniper, it uses the incorrect scope, and the ADS zoom is not zoomed in enough. Now for the grenade launcher, we have the incorrect VFX and sound effects. For the rocket launcher, it used the incorrect icon on the purple and gold rarity as well as the incorrect model on those rarities. The purple and gold rarity fire the Chapter 2 rocket model. It used the incorrect VFX and sound effects, and its equip speed is 0.665 seconds when it should be 0.333 seconds. For bandages, I'm pretty sure there's nothing wrong with these. Medkits heal over time, like how they were changed to in Chapter 5 Season 1. Shield potions, their stack size is 3 when they should be 2. They also heal over time, and they use the incorrect model. For slurp juice, the drop model is too small. For the grenade, the stack size is 6 when it should be 10. Use the incorrect model. They cannot crit, which is something I didn't even know they were able to do until I looked at like the Season 3 patch notes where they said they were unable to do this anymore. And it used the incorrect VFX and sound effects. Now, the ceiling zapper. The traps are the funniest things that happen in this mode, because for some reason, they direct ripped the stats of these from Save the World. So that means they're doing, like, the damage that they should be doing to husks instead of players. So the ceiling zapper's damage is 700, when it should only be 125. It is able to do crit damage, which is like plus 50% damage on this, and its reload speed is 12 seconds when it should be 5 seconds. And next for the damage trap, the damage is 150 when it should be 125. The reload speed is 5 seconds when it should be 6. And for the upwards and directional jump pads, I'm pretty sure there's nothing wrong with these. I've never seen that any balance changes ever happened to them until they were vaulted. So I'm pretty sure nothing was wrong with these, but I'm still putting maybe here just in case. Now the wall dynamos, actually, you know what, there is something wrong with these. They're not in creative. Epic, please. Please put these things in creative. I need them, bro. They're so awesome. I need this. Next up for the wall dynamo, the damage is 292 when it should be 125. It's able to crit, and the reload speed is 12 seconds when it should be 5. And now for supply drops, they can spawn purple weapons. The balloon health is 250, 500, and 750 in solos, duos, and squads, when it should be 1500 for all modes. And they can spawn weapons that should not exist. And now, building. The wood wall's starting health is 90 when it should be 100. The wood wall's max health is 150 when it should be 200. And the wood wall health generation is 8 HP per half second when it should be 13 HP per half second. The brick wall's starting health is 99 when it should be 90. And the metal wall's starting health is 110 when it should be 80. The metal wall's max health is 500 when it should be 400, and the metal wall health generation is 8 HP per half second when it should be 9, and materials don't have a rarity grid. This is kind of an unreasonable ask right down here, because like, them having a rarity grid wouldn't make sense for modern Fortnite, because materials and ammo are shared between game modes. So changing them for just one mode is kind of unreasonable. That's why I have this right here, because it's not a serious thing. Next up, all ammo max stack sizes should be 999. Light ammo drop size is 20 when it should be 12. And ammo doesn't have a rarity grid like I've mentioned previously. Next up for the storm, the clouds are too high and they use the incorrect wall VFX. Next up we have miscellaneous things. An elevated hut on a hill near Retail Row is missing. The elevated hut on Dusty Mountain is missing. The Tree of Life is in the wrong position. You can tell by the capitalization of these things that I ripped them straight from the Fortnite wiki, because I don't capitalize hardly anything unless it's like a title. Some props have incorrect health, e.g. chests and ammo boxes. Bushes around the map are wrong. like they use the chapter 2 modeling and they're not in the like consistent positions across different clients. Some buildings use modern style walls like the blue house in Salty Springs. The rarity grid on all weapons is wrong. Weapons with first shot accuracy have a slight interpolation time. Loot tables are overall inaccurate, like shotguns being able to spawn in chests, which they weren't able to do for the entirety of chapter 1, at least low tier ones. The overall UI is inaccurate. Player pickaxe damage is, pickaxe player damage is 20 when it should be 10. Pickaxe harvesting damage multiplier against player-built structures is 1.5 when it should be 0.9. They use the incorrect victory sound effects. The background rotation is wrong. The lighting and time of day manager is wrong. The fog is way too heavy. Ziplines in Zero Build use modern zipline logic. Reboot vans take 15 seconds to use when they should be 10 seconds. Chests interact speed should be 0.5 seconds. Then I have a couple of other non-serious ones down here. Friendly fire is disabled. Explosive weapons deal proximity damage instead of line of sight, and you can still move around after winning. And now, that is everything that was broken on day 1 of the OG mode coming out. 1 fucking day after the mode was added. Added bots and skill-based matchmaking. And then 3 days later after they did that, or 3 days after the mode was added, they changed the chest and ammo box spawn rate to 100%. They increased the trap spawn rate. Ammo boxes now drop 3 stacks of ammo. They increased the slurp juice spawn rate as well, and also fixed a bug where high tier weapons dropped as floor loot. That's not a bug. High tier weapons were able to drop as floor loot for the entirety of chapter 1. What the hell are you talking about? Next up, the first actual update of this mode. They added traps to Zero Build despite saying they would be there on launch. And then a day before the second update, they buffed Slurp Juice to its Season 5 version. Then in the next update, they added the bush. And there's a couple of bugs with bush as well. It's translucent, can block a bullet, and also generally just doesn't work most of the time. Like these two features. They have been broken on the regular bush for a very long time. And for some reason they fixed it when they actually like made Fortnite OG into a mini season, but they didn't fix it for like every other version of the bush. So still broken to this day, in fact. I don't know why. And it also used the incorrect model when born. Then for the third update, they added the launchpad trap to build mode, and they added the throwable launchpad to Zero Build. As for the trap version of the launchpad's bugs, there's probably nothing wrong with it. And for the itemized version of the launchpad, it just shouldn't exist. Next up, in Update 4, they added the Silenced SMG, and as for the bugs with this weapon, the name is incorrect. It should be Submachine Gun Suppressor. The accuracy is too low, the recoil is too high, it uses the incorrect equip and reload sound effects, and the purple rarity is in supply drops and uses modern stats. Some other bugs that were also added in this update: the AR accuracy was originally increased in the same update that they added Silenced SMG, but I have no clue which accuracy values the AR copies, so we're just gonna ignore this. Anyway, at some point between this update and the next, they actually fixed the purple and gold burst and the gold scoped AR existing. This is the only bug that they fixed in the entire season. Next up, in the 5th update of the season, they added smoke grenades, and also victory crowns are now earnable in OG. As for smoke grenade bugs, they detonate on impact, and for other bugs, a silenced SMG should now have no tracers. And now, we get to the end of season statistics. Let me just get this properly fitted on here. Yeah. Total bugs on launch that could reasonably be fixed, and they don't, like, by reasonably be fixed, they don't, like, jokingly have something next to them. That would be 101 bugs. Bugs added throughout the season is about 13 of them. Total bugs fixed during the season is 1. And the total bugs at the end of this season is 113. And a little special thing that I have here, because I saw on, like, the OG bug Trello back when it was like really, really bad, the most broken item award, the item with the most amount of bugs in this season, was the pistol with 9 total bugs. Okay, so I completely forgot to do this when we were like moving from season 1 to season 2, but I do have a tier list here to rank every single season based on accuracy. So first things first, I have season 1 split up from day 1 of season 1 and the rest of season 1. Day 1 of OG season 1, I'm genuinely just gonna put it in S tier. Yes, there may have been 101 bugs and inaccuracies, but oh my god, it felt so good to finally be able to play a game of Fortnite for the first time in 5 or 6 years with the knowledge that 0 players in my lobby were AI. The game felt so much better. I don't understand why. I know exactly why they changed it, because all those fucking like bitches on Twitter were whining about the game is too hard. Why can't I get my easy wins? I need the bots so I can get free kills and feel good about myself. I hate those kids, bro. Anyways, moving past. Even though bots and skill-based matchmaking got removed after the first day of this season because Epic folded under 0 pressure, I would still put the rest of season 1 in A tier, because it had the least amount of weapon bugs out of any season that will be discussed. Spoiler alert, I guess. But it also just felt the most faithful. I don't really know the best way to describe this, but like, my god, dude. This season just felt so good to play. Now, for those of you who are unaware of the state of this mode, you're probably thinking to yourself, huh, 9 bugs on 1 weapon? That is a lot. Well, don't worry. It can get so much worse. Now that we're done with season 1, we move on to season 2, aka the season where it all went wrong. And just a little note here that I added, just in case anybody was a little bit confused, anything that is not stated to be fixed is still broken. So just keep that in mind when we're going through this. Also, if you hear anything weird coming from my mic, I do apologize. I'm currently playing Five Nights at Freddy's right now, and I have to watch my grandma on a baby monitor. So anyways, let's go ahead and move on. Now for the Assault Rifle's low tier variant, it now has damage fall off. Its accuracy is too low, matching its Chapter 2 version, along with the recoil being too high. The reload speed is 2.53, 2.14, and 2.3 when it should be 2.28, 2.23, and 2.18. The structure damage is 30, 31, and 33 when it should be 33 for all rarities. Now for the high tier assault rifle, it has the same first 3 issues as the low tier. The purple's reload speed is 2.18 when it should be 2.12. The structure damage is 35 and 36 when it should be 33 for all rarities, and they actually fixed the Scar's model, textures, and icon in this update, which is a very cool thing. Next up, the burst assault rifle now has damaged fall off. Its accuracy is too high, copying the modern version, as well as the recoil being too high. The mag size is 20 when it should be 30, despite being a 3-round weapon, and 20 is not divisible by 3. Anyway, the structure damage is 31, 32, and 34 when it should be 30 for all rarities. The equip and reload sound effects now have pitch variation, and fixed by proxy. If you're wondering what I mean by this, fixed by proxy basically means that this thing is fixed because Epic just waited long enough for it to not actually be an issue anymore. So now, the name of the burst AR is correct. Anyway, the scoped AR. It now has damage fall off, despite it never having that in Chapter 1. Its structure damage is 34 and 36 when it should be 40 for all rarities. Its name should now be Assault Rifle with Scope. They still don't have naming conventions down. And they fixed the icon on the purple model. Or they fixed the icon of the weapon and also the purple variants model. Next up, for the pump shotgun, its damage is 84 and 92 when it should be 90 and 95. The accuracy is wrong, matching the Chapter 2 Season 6 values. The reload speed is 5.1 and 4.75 when it should be 4.84 and 4.62. The structure damage is 45 and 48 when it should be 100 for all rarities. It has a max damage cap of 165 and 170. and the damage ranges are from 5 to 30 meters when they should be from 7.5 to 40 meters. Next up, we got the tactical shotgun. The structure damage is 52, 55, and 75 when it should be 70 for all rarities. The equip speed was increased to 0.483 seconds when it should just be 0.333 seconds like last season. It has a max damage cap of 120, 125, and 130, and they also fixed its rarity in this season. Next up for the Tech 9, it now has damage fall off. The accuracy is too high, matching that of the rapid fire SMG, and its structure damage is 15, 16, and 17 when it should be 16 for all rarities. Next over the TAC SMG, it now has damage fall off. Its reload speed is 2.2, 2.1, and 2 when it should be 2.41, 2.3, and 2.18 for all rarities. The structure damage is 18, 19, and 20 when it should be 17 for all rarities, and the gold rarity is now findable in-game. And I don't actually remember if this was supply drop exclusive or not, or if it was just able to spawn in chests. Regardless, you could find the gold rarity. Next up, the silenced SMG now has damage fall off. The structure damage is 20, 21, and 22 when it should be 19 for all rarities. The gold rarity is now findable in supply drops, and the purple and gold's damage, headshot multiplier, and fire rate now match the other rarities, which is a very, very strange change that they made. And fixed by proxy, the name is now correct. Next up for the revolver, it now has damage fall off. The recoil is too high, the accuracy is also too high. The structure damage is also 54, 57, and 60 when it should be 60 for all rarities. Now we move on to the semi-auto pistol. Its structure damage is now 23, 24, and 25 when it should be 25 for all rarities, and they actually fixed its headshot multiplier. Now for the bolt action sniper, its structure damage is 105, 110, and 116 when it should be 105 for all rarities. The blue rarity now uses the heavy sniper's reload animation. The reload speed is 3, 2.5, 2.35 when it should be 3, 2.85, 2.7. It shows its reticle when hip firing, and they fixed the purple and gold icon and model. Now we move on to the semi-auto sniper. Its structure damage is 97 and 101 when it should be 40 for all rarities, and it shows its reticle while hip firing. The grenade launcher, its structure damage is 200, 210, and 220 when it should be 375 for all rarities. And for the rocket launcher, its damage is 110, 127, and 143, which are values that I don't even know how they got changed to. The rocket launcher in all its time existing has never had these values, but regardless, they should be 110, 116, and 121. The reload speed is 3.62, 3.06, and 2.52 when it should be 2.3, 2.18, and 2.07. The structure damage is 300, 315, and 330 when it should be 375 for all rarities, and they fixed the purple and gold icon and model. And now for the slurp juice, they reverted its buff that it got in Season 1, which is really funny. The small shield potion uses the incorrect model, and the stack size is only 6 when it should be 10. Now for grenades, their structure damage is 75 when it should be 375. For the bush, the model is now incorrect for some reason when you have it dropped on the ground. And now for miscellaneous, the green rapid fire SMG was added to the loot pool. How? They vaulted the itemized launch pad from Zero Build. They updated grass to be the Chapter 5 grass for some reason, and they fixed the missing hut near Retail Row not being there. Then a couple hours after the season dropped, they fixed the purple and gold silenced SMG and green rapid fires existing, and they fixed the burst AR's mag size. And then 3 days after the season dropped, they increased the pump shotgun's max damage cap from 165 and 170 to 210 and 230, which is still wrong. And then they increased the purple and gold RPG's reload speed from 3.06 and 2.52 to 3.42 and 2.34, which are the Season 7 nerfed values, which are just not supposed to happen yet. They rebuffed Slurp Juice, and then they fixed the purple and gold RPG damage. They fixed the tac shotgun having a max damage cap, maybe. We have no, or at least I have no real way to check this, because like, I don't know how to get into the files and look at that. All I know is that the numbers when I hit headshots with these guns are correct, so at least that works. And they also fixed the scope they are having damage fall off. Now, the first update of the season, they added impulse grenades. There's a couple of bugs with these two. The stack size is 9 when it should be 8, and the dropped model is too small. Then one day later, they added the launchpad item back to 0 build, and they changed the storms to match modern timings and damage, which I have put down as the 3rd worst update this mode has ever received. Modern storms are ass. There's no nice way to put it, they just suck. They were only implemented because of like mid-match objectives existing in Chapter 4 Season 2, and there's no more mid-match objectives even in like regular BR now. There is no reason for storms to be this bad, this big, and have so many stages. Just change it back to how it is in Chapter 1. And then they went and just ruined OG by giving it these modern stats. It sucked so bad. And now we have a weekend special event that happened. They added the Zapatron, and they greatly increased the sniper rifle spawn rate so it'd be easier to find it. Now for the Zapatron's bugs, the base damage is 25 when it should be 50, the max charge multiplier is 6 when it should be 3, the ammo type is sniper bullets when it should be energy cells. Joking right here because that would be ridiculous. And it should have been added last season. Let's keep it real. This is a Season 1 weapon. This was in the files during Season 1, but they just didn't finish it, I guess. And then 3 days later, they revaulted the Zapatron and just undid all the weekend special event things. And then in Update 2, they added the silenced pistol alongside the boogie bomb. Now for the suppressed pistols bugs, it has damage fall off. The mag size is 12 when it should be 16. This is probably my most hated nerf in the entire game because the nerf from 12 to 16 was just so ridiculously unnecessary. And then its accuracy when firing starts too high, the recoil is too low, its structure damage is 27 and 29 when it should be 25 for all rarities, and the equip and reload sound effects are slightly off. Now for the Boogie Bombs bugs, the rarity is blue when it should be green, the lifetime is 5 seconds when it should be 10, damaging opponents makes them stop dancing, the drop model is too small, and the fuse trail is wrong. Yes, the Boogie Bomb genuinely used to be this broken. Whenever you got hit with one, it would make you dance for 10 seconds and there was no way to break out of it. And now for the other bugs that were added, the scoped AR should now have 100% accuracy when aimed down sights, and its headshot multiplier should now be 2. And then 3 days later, or I guess this could also be seen as update 3, it just seems too close, but I'm just going to count it. They added the minigun alongside the chug jug, and for the miniguns bugs, its damage is 18 and 19 when it should be 16 and 17. The accuracy is wrong, the recoil is wrong, the structure damage is 26 and 28 when it should be 25 for all rarities, and it overheats. And now for the chug jugs bugs, it used the incorrect textures as well as the incorrect throwing animation. It had an updated one that was added in chapter, I want to say chapter 4, season 4, I don't remember exactly when it was, where you actually hold it two-handed and throw it over your head. But the chug jug for some reason in OG uses like the one-handed throwing animation, so you got a hell of an arm in this mode. Now for some other changes that happen in this mode, fixed by proxy, the Boogie Bomb effect time, rarity, and functionality is now accurate. And then for update 4, they added the campfires, and as for the bugs with the campfire, use the incorrect model, it can be stoked and relit, and standing on the campfire as it is active will burn you. And for 3 days later, they increased the shield spawn rate, and they increased the scoped AR's recoil for some reason, but they also fixed the scoped AR's ADS accuracy. For update 5, they added the crossbow, and the crossbow's bugs right here, the damage is 65 and 68 when it should be 75 and 79. The headshot multiplier is 2 when it should be 2.5. The fire rate is 0.9 when it should be 0.6, and does not use the Cupid crossbow skin. And as for some other bugs in the update 5, the Tech 9 was not vaulted, the TAC SMG's fire rate is 10 when it should be 13, the TAC SMG's mag size is only 30 when it should be 35, and also fixed by proxy, the revolver's ammo type is now correct. And now, the Season 2 end of season stats. The total bugs on the launch of the season was 155, bugs added throughout the season was 39, the total bugs fixed during the season, 19, and total bugs fixed in quotations, and that means fixed by proxy, is 4, and the total bugs at the end of the season was 185. And for the most broken item award of this season goes to the pump shotgun with 11 bugs. I wonder if we will ever get another weapon in this slot ever again. And now we go on to Season 2, which I actually need to do something real quick. I did a single tier list. I did a single use thing, so I wasn't able to like create a template for public use, but those only have 5 tiers. I need to add, why is that caps? I need to add a new special tier specifically for Season 2. F tier. Season 2 was genuinely that bad. The launch of this season, as I showed you, broke every single item. I kid you not. Every single item in this mode, weapon or item, whatever the hell you want to call it, on the launch of Season 2 got broken in some way. This is the beginning of the downfall of this mode, in my opinion. They couldn't keep it faithful. They had to come in and just find a way to fuck it up. I genuinely don't understand how the things that happen in this season happen. They copied things from the beginning of Chapter 2. They copied some things from Season 6 of Chapter 2. They copied some things from how the game functions now. How do you fuck up this bad? Oh, and don't worry, it doesn't get any better, because now we move on to an almost equally as bad season, Season 3. First things first, the high tier assault rifle. They changed its model back to the Chapter 2 model for some fucking reason, but it still uses its Chapter 1 textures. The tactical shotgun, they actually fixed its icon. The attack SMG, its headshot multiplier is now 2 when it should be 2.5. They removed a lot of the shooting sound effects, and a near empty mag sound can now be heard everywhere, but they fixed the gold rarity existing. For Silenced Pistol, they actually fixed its mag size, which I was very happy to see. For the hand cannon, it has damage falloff. The headshot multiplier is 2 when it should be 2.5. Structure damage is 100 and 105 when it should be 75 for all rarities. The equip speed is 0.433 seconds when it should be 0.333 seconds. Its small icon is wrong, like the icon when you look at it in the inventory, and it has an extra mag eject in the reload animation for some reason. So like the Deagle's reload animation, I'm sure you all know about it, but for some, like, after you do the one mag eject where it comes out of here, when you go to turn the weapon and put the new mag in, another mag pops out. I don't know how these things happen. I have no idea. I don't get it. The way this mode functions is beyond me. The fact that it even works. This is like Toby Fox coding, bro. It's held together with duct tape and dreams. Now we have the hunting rifle. Its name is incorrect. It should be the no-scope hunting rifle. The structure damage is 86 and 90 when it should be 90 for all rarities. Use the incorrect icon, the incorrect model, the incorrect equip and reload sound effects, and the ADS zoom is too zoomed in. Now for the guided missile, the rocket handles like it did when it was nerfed in Season 5. The fire rate is 0.75 when it should be 1.33. The structure damage is 300 when it should be 1100, and the rocket also shows up on the map. And next up we have the crossbow. The blue rarity was vaulted. Smoke grenades, they're now partially see-through when they're indoors. Now we got supply llamas, they have the incorrect sound effects. Vending machines, they are 50% off and their interact speed should be 0.5 seconds. And for some miscellaneous changes, they enabled environmental campfires like 4 seasons early or whatever. Double pump was not temporarily patched. The weekly updates no longer happen, which is the second worst update in this mode. Basically completely kills the content flow of it. So now we have one big spike of players at the beginning of the season. Nothing for like a month or two. And then all the content added at once. Another maybe big spike, maybe, but they don't advertise this mode so we wouldn't know. So we get a small little increase of players for those that keep up with leaks and know that the new things were added, and then it dwindles back down again. That's bad. That's really bad. And with such happening, this is going to be the last season where weapon stats will be considered to progress throughout the season. From now on, going from Season 4 and beyond, I will act like the weapons should be copying their stats from the very end of that season. And after that, they fixed the hut on the Dusty Mountain. They fixed the Tech 9 not being vaulted earlier, and fixed by proxy, you can now move around while winning. Or you can now move around after winning. And then 2 days after this season, they added infinite rifts and ziplines and ascenders to build mode, which was terrible. And then in the first update of the season, the guided missiles handling is changed to its Season 3 nerfed state, I think is what happened. And then for update 2, the guided missile structure damage increased to 315 and 330, which is still wrong, and the SCAR's firing sound effects are now incorrect. And then in update 3, they added the LMG, heavy shotgun, clinger, portafort, C4, blue pump, and gray tac, and they vaulted the purple tac shotgun and also the crossbow. And they also fixed by proxy a couple of things. The hunting rifle's name is now correct, and chest and ammo box health is now correct. And now, the fun part. All the bugs with newly added items. The light machine gun's accuracy and recoil are too high, matching its modern stats. The structure damage is 25 and 26 when it should be 25 for all rarities, and it uses the incorrect pickup sound effects. As for the heavy shotguns bugs, the pellet spread is fixed when it should be random. The structure damage is 40 and 42 when it should be 100 for all rarities. It cannot pierce players. Its firing mode is automatic when it should be semi-auto. The equip speed is 0.433 seconds when it should be 0.333 seconds. And the hollow sight on it is green when it should be orange. Now for the clingers bugs, the structure damage is 125 when it should be 200. And the stack size is 6 when it should be 10. As for portaforts, their stack size is 2 when it should be 5, and it builds instantly when it should build over time. And now, the C4's bug is a hell of a lot here. Damage is 100 when it should be 70. Structure damage is 300 when it should be 800. The drop size is 3 when it should be 4. The stack size is 6 when it should be 10. The time between consecutive explosions is 1 second when it should be 0.25 seconds. Time between throwing charges is 1 second when it should be 0.75 seconds. All sound effects are incorrect. It beeps when it's placed. The placed model has a weird black circle underneath it, and the item model on ground is way too big. As for some other bugs that were added this season, the gray pump was not vaulted. The pump's stats were not shifted, meaning the blue pump can one-shot in 0 build. All the TAC shotgun stats are 1 rarity worse than they should be, and the TAC SMG no longer has any firing sound at all. But not all hope was lost, because 1 day later, we got our first good update in this mode. And judging by the fact there were only 4 actual fixes, you can tell that our standards of good were really low back then. So for this update, they vaulted the TAC SMG. They attempted to fix the Burst AR's recoil and accuracy, but it's still wrong. They reduced Silence Pistol's headshot multiplier to 2, which shouldn't have happened yet. They reduced the Deagle's structure damage to 75 and 78, which is still wrong. They attempted to fix the minigun's recoil and accuracy, but it was still wrong. TAC SMG's reload speed was increased from 2.2, 2.1, and 2 to 2.4, 2.3, and 2.1, which is still slightly wrong, but they did fix the pump shotgun's effective range, the TAC SMG's fire rate and mag size, the Silence Pistol's structure damage, and the RPG's reload speed. So overall, a pretty decent update for this mode, but like, it could have been better. They could have fixed everything, but you know, they didn't. I don't know what to tell you. It's just like a small hotfix that actually kind of breathed a little bit more life into the mode. And next up, update 4, they put the meteor in the sky, they vaulted smoke grenades, and the legendary weapon color is now wrong, because for some reason they changed it in Galactic Battle. I don't know why. But anyways, fixed by proxy, weapons are now meant to have damage fall off, but there's a whole new plethora of issues that arise there. The scoped AR structure damage should now be 25 for all rarities. The burst AR's min damage is 90% when it should be 65%. The standard SMG damage range is 20 to 40 meters when it should be 24 to 50 meters. And the standard SMG's min damage is 40% when it should be 65%. And these are bugs that affect the TAC SMG and the Silence SMG. And heavy pistol min damage is 53% when it should be 40%, and this affects the Deagle alongside the revolver. And many weapons' headshot multipliers have not been reduced to 2 like they now should, those being the Burst AR, Silence SMG, Revolver, and Pistol. And the TAC SMG does not have burst shot accuracy, which wasn't relevant until about now. And they fixed by proxy the TAC SMG, Silence Pistol, and Deagle headshot multipliers now being correct. Next up, update 5, they the island's residents put up signs all over the island about the meteor about to hit us. Shit ain't gonna happen, trust me. The pump shotgun's equip speed should now be 0.566 seconds. The bolt's equip speed should now be 0.416 seconds. The hunting rifle's equip speed should now be 0.383 seconds. Or wait, no, that's the crossbow. The hunting rifle and bolt should now have the same thing. The equip and reload sounds are now wrong on the SCAR, heavy shotgun, pump, bolt, and pistol, and I'm just kind of assuming this is when the pistol sound effects were changed because everything else also got changed here, and I also can't find the exact update when it happened. But there were a couple of lazy fixes in this update too. The guided missiles rocket handling is now correct. Attack shotgun, heavy shotgun, revolver, and decoy equip speeds are now correct. The double pump fix is now gone, and the hunting rifle's equip and reload sounds are now accurate. And the final update of the season, meteorites now fall on the map, but they don't drop metal like they used to, and they also grant fall damage immunity for some reason. But we got a couple of other lazy fixes. Snipers and the crossbow equip speed changes are reverted in this update, and the minigun's damage is now correct. And now, our end of season statistics. The total bugs on launch of the season was 208, and the bugs added throughout the season were 60 bugs throughout the whole season that got added. Total amount of bugs fixed was 10, and total bugs fixed was 26. So the total bugs at the end of the season was 238. And I'm just going to say right now, 60 bugs is the most amount of bugs that have been introduced in any season of OG. And who would have thought the most broken item award once again goes to the pump shotgun, now having 12 bugs. And now we go on to our tier list right over here. For OG Season 3, I'd say it probably wasn't as bad as Season 2, because Season 2 already did all the damage that it did. Season 3 was kind of just like a result of that, but there were a couple of good bug fixes. However, we do have to take into account that this is the most amount of bugs that any season has ever had, so we're just going to put this right here in D tier. It was better than Season 2, but not by much. Now, with Season 3 out of the way, we actually kind of turn a bit of a corner now, going into Season 4. And just a little note here, all weapons will be assumed to use their stats from the final update of each season from now on. As I previously stated, just in case you needed a reminder, starting with the low tier AR, fixed by proxy, its structure damage is now accurate. And now for the assault rifle, it's the same as low tier, but they also fixed its firing sound too. Now for the low tier burst AR, it now uses the high tier's pickup, equip, and reload sound effects, but they fixed its headshot multiplier as well as its structure damage. Now for the high tier burst AR, it has the same issues as the low tier, but the sound effects have no pitch variation, and it also uses the incorrect icon, model, and textures. As for the scoped AR, the structure damage should now be 25 and 26, but fixed by proxy, its name is now correct. Next up, we get the thermal scoped AR. The recoil is too high, uses the incorrect model, incorrect firing sound. The firing mode is semi-auto when it should be full auto. Thermal vision covers the entire screen when you're scoped in, and the thermal colors are slightly wrong. Next up for the pump shotgun, its structure damage should now be 45 and 48. They updated the equip sound effects, but they have pitch variation. The headshot multiplier is now 2, but the blue pump can still do 200 damage, and they actually fixed its max range. Now for the tac shotgun, they vaulted the gray version and unvaulted the purple version, for some reason, but they fixed by proxy the structure damage now being accurate. Next up, we got the heavy shotgun. It now shoots 10 pellets when it should be 5. Its max range is now 72 meters when it should be 40, but they fixed its structure damage as well as its equip and reload speed. Now for the TAC SMG, the structure damage should now be 16, 17, and 18, but they fixed its reload speed, they fixed the firing sound effects, and fixed by proxy, no longer has first shot accuracy. Next up for the revolver, they fixed by proxy the structure damage now being correct. In the semi-auto pistol, the structure damage is also now correct on this. The suppressed pistol, they reverted the changes from the Season 3 hotfix for some reason, so its structure damage and headshot multipliers are now wrong. Next up, we got the hand cannon. They also reverted its changes from the Season 3 hotfix, so its structure damage is now 100 and 105. Next up for the bolt action sniper, you're going to be seeing a lot of this. The structure damage now being accurate, so I'm just going to skip over it from now on if it happens. Now the semi-auto sniper, its structure damage should now be 63 and 66. And as for the hunting rifle, the model is now correct and the ADS zoom is now accurate. Next up for the grenade launcher, its structure damage should now be 375, 394, and 413, and the rocket launchers should have the exact same stats as that. And next up for the minigun, its structure damage should now be 32 and 33, and the starting ammo is 24 when it should be 90. Now for the LMG, they attempted to fix its accuracy, but it's still broken, but its structure damage is now accurate, so yay! Now for the grenades, they fixed their structure damage finally, and for Slurp Juice, at some point in the season, the healing was increased to 3 HP per second, but it still maxes out at 75 HP. Now for shopping carts, their health is 550 when they should be 400, the handling is wrong, the speed is too high, and repeatedly boosting only plays the animation every other press. Now supply llamas, they drop 500 of each material when they should be 200, they drop 20 stacks of each ammo type when it should be 10, and they should not drop rocket ammo. Now for building, materials from world spawns is 30 when it should be 20. Bad change, I'm glad they actually didn't do that. Now for ammo, light ammo drop size should now be 18, and for other miscellaneous things, the map now uses reload grass, which is still wrong. A brick hut near Loot Lake is just gone. They added a ninja Easter egg to the hero mansion, which is really funny. The bus speed is too slow, and fixed by proxy, the crossbow is now meant to be vaulted. But 3 days later after the season drop, they actually got a pretty good update with more bug fixes than actual bugs. First off, the pump shotgun now has a max damage cap of 199 on all rarities, which is the single laziest update this mode has ever received. The purple attack is now vaulted from world spawns but can still appear in vending machines. They reduced the attack shotgun structure damage to 47, 50, and 53, which is still wrong. And the semi-sniper now has its Season 5 buffs, which obviously shouldn't have happened yet. But they fixed the scope AR structure damage, headshot multiplier, and recoil, but the controller recoil is still a little bit broken. They fixed the gray pump not being vaulted, they fixed the deagle structure damage, they fixed the bolt's reload speed, they fixed the grenade launcher and RPG structure damage too. And then 2 days after that, they actually fixed the C4 structure damage and drop size, but the stack size is still wrong. And then for the first update of the season, the equip sounds of the pump, RPG, and guided missile are now gone. And they also reverted the C4 structure damage fix for some reason, and also a random campsite has appeared on the Dusty Mountain that wasn't originally there. I don't know why. But then we have Update 2, which added the drum gun, the dual pistols, stink bombs, jetpacks, and the bouncers. And for some reason, they increased the low tier AR's damage to 33, 34, 35. They attempted once again to fix the burst accuracy, but it was still wrong. And they actually copied over the pump stats from 4.50, but did so incorrectly. So all stats except damage are 1 rarity better than they should be. And it also still has a max damage cap. They reverted the bolt to reload speed fix, and they also reverted the RPG and grenade launcher structure damage fix, and the low tier burst, pickup, equip, and reload sounds were reverted, but they still have pitch variation. And now we have actually quite a few fixes here too. They fixed the AR's reload speed, recoil, and icon. They fixed the burst min damage. They fixed the thermal AR's recoil and thermal overlay so that it now fits in the scope. They fixed silenced SMG's accuracy. Yes. They fixed the revolver's min damage and headshot multiplier. They fixed the pistol's damage, headshot multiplier, model, and icon, but the textures are still a bit wrong. They fixed the silenced pistol's structure damage, headshot multiplier, and recoil. They fixed the deagle's min damage and small icon. They fixed the LMG's equip sound, and they fixed first shot accuracy interpolation existing. But now with all these fixes, we got a couple of bugs to go over with the newly added items. First off, the drum gun, the damage ranges are 20 to 40 meters when they should be 24 to 50 meters. The min damage is 45% when it should be 65%, and the weapon subtype is AR when it should be SMG. And now for the dual pistols bugs, the firing sounds have too much pitch variation, and the reload sounds are missing. Now for stink bombs, their stack size is 6 when it should be 5, the drop model quality is really low, and they also have the incorrect sound effects. As for the jetpacks bugs, I genuinely have no idea. I am completely clueless as to whether or not these things are bugged or not. I don't know if anybody has ever confirmed or denied this thing having any bugs, so I just have no clue at all. And now, for the bouncers. The bounce is 25% too strong, which makes some tricks impossible, like super launch pads, which is really sad. This This is one of the more painful bugs. I'm not a fan of it. And then one day after this update, for some reason, rather than just fixing the AR's damage, they reverted it to a previous state. So now its reload speed and recoil are now wrong, but they did fix the damage in turn for some reason. They could have just changed the damage, but they had to do it this way. I'm not even gonna say anything else about it. Whatever. Anyway, for update 3, they fixed the pump shotgun's equipped sound being missing. They fixed the tac shotgun stats except for the blue rarity structure damage. They fixed the missing dually reload sound effects, and then they fixed the missing RPG equip and reload sound effects. And then 3 days after update 3, we got another small little update. Not really small, it was actually pretty damn good. They increased the shield game from mushrooms from 5 to 10, which is kind of a weird thing though, but everything else is very good. They reduced the size of zones, but they're still not fully fixed. However, they fixed the number of storm circles per game, so we're finally back down to 9 storms, like we should be. And they also fixed the bus speed to be accurate to how it was. And now, we reach our end of season stats, which I forgot to write. The total bugs on the launch of the season was 247, and the total number of bugs added throughout the season was 22. But the total number of bugs fixed was 44. The total bugs, fixed by proxy, I guess you could say, was 11, and the total bugs now at the end of the season was 235, which marks Season 4 as the first OG season to have less bugs at the end than it did at the start, which is quite the accomplishment. Not really, a great accomplishment, not an accomplishment that it should have, but, this is most certainly a very good thing for the mode. And to nobody's surprise, most broken item award, still the pump shotgun, but now with only about 9 bugs. So now the tier list, where to place Season 4. Well, I don't think I'd put it as high as Season 1, but it is quite a thing to say that this was the first season, as I previously said. The first season where we had more bugs fixed than bugs broken, or things broken, I guess, so I think that earns this at least a B tier. I think that's where I'll put it, in fact. We have our first B tier season. So finally, undeniably better than these 2 seasons, but I don't know, I don't feel like it was better than Season 1. Season 1 was just goated for how little was broken in comparison, but Season 4, for how much it fixed, it deserves at least a little bit of recognition. I'm a big fan of that. Now let's go ahead and move on to Season 5, which probably has one of the highest hype moments of any OG season, followed by the biggest letdown of all time. You'll understand what I mean in a little bit. Moving on, the low tier assault rifle, they removed its low ammo sound, and they also fixed its reload speed and accuracy, which was awesome. And for the high tier AR, they have the same issues as the low tier, but they also removed its targeting sound effects. For the pump shotgun, they increased the reload speed from 4.62 and 4.4 to 4.85 and 4.62, which is still slightly a bit wrong. The heavy shotgun, they fixed its max range. For the double barrel shotgun, it does not have a structure damage fall off, and its equip and reload sounds have pitch variation. For the MP5 submachine gun, the model, textures, and icon are incorrect, and its firing sound is incorrect. And now, the compact submachine gun. The name is very incorrect. It should just be compact SMG. It uses the incorrect model when it's dropped, but then it uses the incorrect textures when it's held. It uses the incorrect icon, and also has the incorrect held animation when crouch walking. And then for the drum gun, they fixed its jumping spread, damage ranges, and also min damage. The suppressed pistol, it now uses the silenced SMG's firing sound effects for some reason. But they fixed its equip and reload sound effects though. And for the dual pistols, they fixed the firing sound effects pitch variation at some point in the season, I think. I don't really remember when. But for the bolt action, they fixed the reload speed again. And for the semi-auto sniper, fixed by proxy, the stats are now accurate. For the grenade launcher, they fixed the structure damage again. And for the rocket launcher, they reduced its spread. I don't really know when it was increased, but let's just assume it was Season 2. And also, this reduced spread is still wrong. But they also fixed the structure damage once again. And as for the guided missile, it never received its Season 5 nerfs, which I'm honestly not even really that mad about, and they also fixed its missing equip sound. As for the minigun, they tried once more to fix the spread, but it was still wrong, and they fixed its structure damage. And for the LMG, they partially fixed its accuracy. So it's accurate. The accuracy is good when you aren't shooting. It becomes wrong whenever you actually start shooting the gun. As for the shield potion, they fixed its model and fixed by proxy. The stack size is now accurate. As for slurp reduce, they fixed its healing rate. The small shield potion's model got fixed as well. For the grenades, the drop model is missing its mesh load, but they fixed the dropped and held model, but it's still wrong when you throw it. As for impulse grenades, they were incorrectly vaulted this season, for some reason. And they fixed by proxy, the stack size is now correct. And then for boogie bombs, the rarity is now green, for some reason. The drop size should now be 2. For porta-forts, they fixed by proxy, it now builds instantly. The remote explosives, they fixed their structure damage once more. For stink bombs, they fixed by proxy, the stack size now being accurate. For Rift-to-Goes, they have the incorrect icon, equip, and pickup sounds. And for shockwave grenades, they have the incorrect sound effects. And then after that, the all-terrain cart, the health is 650 when it should be 400. The handling is wrong, and the speed is too high. And for building, fixed by proxy, all player structure health stats are now accurate. For the storm, moving zones have not been added yet. And for miscellaneous changes, double pump didn't get removed for some reason. And now you have a double barrel shotgun, so you can now double pump with a double barrel, and it's really broken. Shotguns do not have a fixed pellet spread, but they are using the wrong fixed pellet spread. They should be using the one from pre-Chapter 3 Season 2, which is better in every way than the one post. There are slurp cacti in the desert, which, come on. Starry Suburbs was not removed, which is honestly pretty cool. The Lucky Landing Shrine was rotated, and it's now facing the wrong way. Paradise Palms sign is wrong, being the Moisty Palms one, and the rifts are now not in the right spots. And now, for the big thing that happened this season, 2 days later, Alleyjacks released the massive Season 5 bug thread, including instructions on how to fix many of these bugs. 10 more days later. Hey Alleyjacks, huge thanks for pulling all this together in one spot. Your paste bin was really helpful. A bunch of these bug fixes were already lined up for this next update, and we've marked several more for investigation. See you in OG, thank you so much for playing! Vaulted the minigun. Another random weekend event. They unvaulted the Zapatron for some reason in Season 5, and they increased the sniper spawn rates once again, and players now have permanent low gravity. Why? What? For what purpose? And then 3 days later, they reverted the game back to normal, thank God. And Update 1. Partially fixed the thermal AR's model, but they forgot to do it correctly, so the firing animation is completely broken. The pumps, equip, and reload sound effects play too early. The MP5 and P90's near empty mag sound will now play globally for everyone to hear if swapping or dropping when the mag is empty. And this is only fixed when the player who caused this to happen dies. But they fixed the MP5's icon and firing sound slightly. They fixed the P90's icon and name, and they fixed the hunting rifle's icon. As a reminder, hey Alleyjacks, huge thanks for pulling all this together in one spot. Your paste bin was so helpful. A bunch of these bugs were already lined up for this update, and we've marked a few more for investigation. See you in OG, thank you so much for playing. Tim Sweeney, I am going to fucking kill you. And then 1 day later, they disabled the near empty mag sound on the MP5 and P90 for obvious reasons. Then 3 days later, the cube is back. However, it is red. Touching it gives you the pepper effect. It doesn't damage you when it strikes you, instead rifting you, and these rifts also go higher than the normal ones. So for anybody who was hoping to have some fun by shooting at the cube and making it hit other players, you don't do that no more. Fuck you. And also the rune zones give the pepper effect instead of low gravity. I don't get it, man. Anyway, 6 days later, they unvaulted the Zapatron again. Like, seriously, what is their obsession with this gun? And now for Update 2. They added the Silent Scar, the Heavy Sniper, the Grappler, and the Porta Fortress, and they vaulted the Zapatron once more. Hopefully never to be seen again. The Gold Bolt was never actually vaulted. They re-added the Scar's targeting sounds, they reverted the Thermal AR's model fix, so now it kind of functions a little bit more properly. The Motel sign is now undamaged, And the gas station in Paradise was replaced by the one from the Season 5 lobby, which is kind of cool, honestly. But they fixed the SCAR's equip and reload sound effects, they fixed the thermal AR's firing mode, they fixed the pump's firing sound effects, they fixed the pistol's equip and reload sound effects, and they fixed the silenced pistol's firing sound effects. And now for the bugs, the new items. The suppressed assault rifle's accuracy is too high, and the ADS zoom is too zoomed in. The heavy sniper has the incorrect scope, it shows its reticle when you're hip firing, it has a 5x damage multiplier against vehicles, and it knocks back vehicles if they don't immediately get destroyed by it, and the frame rate of the reload animation is choppy. I play on 120 frames, so whenever I'm like showcasing it on my videos, whenever I'm recording on my PC, it doesn't show properly. So I feel like what happens is like whatever frame rate you're playing on, the heavy sniper's reload animation is half of that. I don't know how they do that. Now for the Grappler's bugs, it uses the incorrect icon and it cancels fall damage, and for the Porta Fortress, it uses the incorrect icon and the tires don't consistently spawn in the structure. And then for another update, at some point during the season that I don't really remember like when it happened, but it did, they fixed the Riptigo's hitbox, which is really cool. And then we have update 3. Epic attempted to further ruin this mode by adding voting boards for exotic weapons, which if you need reminding, exotic weapons never existed back at Chapter 1. But it didn't work, thankfully, because the requirement was too high, so they removed them 3 days later. Get fucked, y'all. And they slightly adjusted the fog to be more bearable, but it's still a bit wrong. And they vaulted the drum gun. Thank God. Now 5 days later, they did the birthday update, in which they added the birthday presents, which never existed back then. They added balloons a season early, and I'm not going to go over them and its bugs right now because it's not meant to exist yet. And they added cakes all around the map with their first birthday designs, which I was honestly very surprised by. And then 1 week later, they removed the birthday event and items. Now we move on to the end of season statistics for season 5. Total bugs on launch was 241. Bugs added during the season was 23, total bugs fixed was 30, and bugs fixed by proxy was 14. So total bugs at the end of the season was 248, and to nobody's surprise, most broken item award, still pump shotgun, still same amount of bugs. Season 5. Where, oh where do I put you? What can be bad as season 2? Nothing can be as bad as season 2. It's definitely not as good as Season 4, especially with that massive broken promise. I'm going to take that into account. The fact that Epic Games said that they saw the paste bin and only fixed like 20 bugs. Let me double check. What was it again? And then only fixed like about 30 or so bugs throughout the entire season after saying that they saw the paste bin, including the instructions for how to fix certain bugs, and they only fixed a total of 30 items themselves. I think I have to, I can't put this any higher than D tier. Season 5, another mess. Not fully, like, in terms of things that got fixed, it was pretty good, but I think because of the sheer, like, idiocy of the OG team in this season to state that they read through the entire fucking paste bin and only fixed like 30 items, I'm talking about fixed 30 items throughout the entirety of the season. I'm not even talking about like after he actually posted it. Throughout the entirety of the season, only 30 bugs fixed after having all of them plastered directly in your fucking face. Disappointing. Straight up disappointing. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Next up, after Season 5, we got Season 6, which I would consider to be kind of a little bit of an opposite to Season 5. This is one of the bleakest starts to any OG season, but having a pretty good turnaround towards the end. So, let's go ahead and just get through with it. Starting things off with the high-tier assault rifle, they reverted its equip and reload sound fix, and it now uses the sniper ADS sounds. For the thermal scope they fixed its model for real this time. For the pump shotgun, its damage is 80 and 105, which should be 95 and 100. The compact SMG, its ADS sound is wrong. The hand cannon structure damage should now be 150 and 157, and its min damage should be 67%. Not even a joke. I'm not even trying to meme right now, it's supposed to be that. For the 6-shooter, its equipped sound is wrong. The bolt-action sniper has the incorrect projectile gravity alongside the semi and the hunting rifle. The quad launcher uses the incorrect textures, and it uses the Save the World sound effects. For the Fiend Hunter, its damage is 50 when it should be 40, and its accuracy is too low. For Apples, the healing amount was increased to 10 for some reason, when it should be 5. Boogie Bombs, they fixed their rarity. Grapplers should now only have 10 charges. Balloons, they function how they did in Season 7, and they're missing their emote designs. For Chillers, they're missing the rarity grid. Havoc Stones. What the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you here? What purpose do you serve, other than fucking up the mode? For those of you that are unaware, instead of receiving Shadow Stones, like we had in Season 6, which when you consume them would turn you into a ghost for 30 seconds, we received Havoc Stones, which gave you pre-nerf Nitro for 45 seconds. Just a further attempt to kill the mode by Epic Games. Masterful gambit, you guys. I hate you. I fucking hate you. And now for the Storm, the clouds are incorrect, and for other miscellaneous changes... Oh, hey. Do you guys want to watch the rocket event again? Alright. They forgot to start the event. Oh my god. This company is so good, bro. These guys really know what they're doing. Oh shit. Maybe it's starting now. They remembered to enable the flag. Maybe, possibly. We're about 3 minutes late, but you know, it could be fine. We're gonna watch this guy fuck up again, because he can't control his rocket. There we go! At least there's not a blimp in my way this time, so I won't get blocked from this POV. Hey, look, this guy's gonna get hit. Uh-oh. Safe! Alright, lock in. Lock in. Alright. We're all going over to greet him. This is the old season! We're going back to the old season! I don't remember exactly where we were before that, but I'm just gonna start right here again. Due to Epic not re-importing the map, there are now so many bugs that I can't even list them all off, mainly because I don't want to. There's just so many of them. But my favorite one is the floating chair where the Moai head used to be. We didn't get a fucking trailer or blog post this season. They reverted the fog fix from last season. The down but not out bleed out timer is 100 seconds when it should be 60, and fixed by proxy impulse nades are now meant to be vaulted. But one day later, they added the pumpkin launcher and they vaulted the normal RPG, but a couple hours later, they actually made some very good changes. First of all, as with every OG change, you can't start without having a couple bugs, so they vaulted the scoped AR for no reason. They reduced the pump damage at min to long range, the green MP5 no longer spawns in chests, and they nerfed Havoc Stones a bit, but they still shouldn't exist. And now for the fixes. They fixed double pump still being enabled, they fixed the pump's damage, structure damage, and max damage cap existing, they fixed the deagle structure damage and min damage, they fixed the minigun being vaulted, they fixed apples and mushrooms healing amount, and they fixed storm sizes and timings. So now we have 100% accurate Chapter 1 storms. Hell yeah. And then for our first update of the season, they added a quad crasher, they renamed Leaky Lake back to Loot Lake for some reason, they fixed the scope AR being vaulted, they fixed the Scar's targeting sound, and they fixed the Fiend Hunter's damage. And then for the bugs with the quad crasher, it uses fuel, it can't fly, it can't break builds, the speed is too high, the handling is wrong, and it uses the incorrect sound effects. Then a little bit later, they fixed Leaky Lake's name. Then for update 2 of this season, they semi-fixed quads flying. It functions nothing like it should, but hey, they do fly. Global glider redeploy was not enabled with this update, and they fixed quads using fuel. A couple hours later, Fort Nightmares began, and there's a couple of bugs with Fort Nightmares as well, because why wouldn't there be? Zombies only spawn at cube runes. Gold zombies can't spawn until Zone 6, which is kind of like an extension of a different type of bug, to where, like, the zombie spawns are progressive. So, like, at the beginning of the game, you can only get regular zombies and then, like, throwing zombies. But once, like, Storm 1 closes, then brutes can spawn. And then when the second storm closes, you can get, like, stronger normal zombies. And then once the third zone closes, you get, like, strong brute zombies. And then at some point, they, and then apparently until Zone 6, that's when the gold zombies can spawn. But by that point, it's such a low probability that a cube rune will be in the zone that you'll just never get to actually naturally see a gold zombie spawn. And unreleased or vaulted weapons can be found from zombies, that being the purple and gold pump, the AK, and the blue RPG. Somehow. And then 4 days later, they added a turret, dynamite, the AK, and the purple and gold pump for real this time. They also vaulted dualies, the semi-sniper, and the guided missile. And now for all the bugs with the newly added items. The heavy AR's bugs are that its accuracy is incorrect, copying its modern stats, as well as the recoil doing the same thing, and also use the incorrect icon. For the pump shotgun's high tier bugs, it has the same as the low tier bugs, but the equip sound is fine. It has the incorrect textures, incorrect equip animation, incorrect hip firing animation, the weapon model does not animate at all, and the equip speed is 0.433 seconds when it should be 0.366 seconds. As for the dynamite's bug, it has the incorrect throw arc, the incorrect sound effects, the fuse doesn't dwindle with a spark, it's missing its rarity grid, and it plays the raptor sound when thrown. For the mounted turret, it overheats after 50 bullets when it should only be 42, and it's missing its rarity grid. And then 2 days later, they fixed shotgun pellet spread, but then a little bit after that they reverted the fix because there were a bunch of issues with other weapons blanking in different modes after you played OG. And then we have another mystery update that happened at some point during the season, but I really have no clue when it happened. They fixed the P90's low ammo sound, and they fixed rifts being infinite aside from the intended ones. And then for update 3, they ended Fort Nightmares a week early, they disabled quads, and they semi-reverted the Havoc Stone nerf. And that they also added a bug in this update that makes them last forever if you time it right. So, infinite nitro? Yeah! But they fixed the Scar's equip and reload sound effects again. They fixed the shotgun pellet spread fully, they fixed the quad launcher sound effects, they fixed the dynamite playing the raptor sound, and they fixed the fog getting reverted. Then a day later, they fixed Havoc Stones existing. Thank God. And then another day later, quads are back and changed a little bit. They can no longer fly, the boost doesn't work in midair, but they fixed the speed, handling, and sound effects. This is because they tried to copy over all of the stats from 6.31 onto the current quad crasher, but due to how the physics engine works, it broke a couple of things too. So they actually tried with this one, which is awesome, but it ended up not working in their favor. And then 5 days later, fixed by proxy, Fort Nightmares should now be over. And then for update 4, the normal RPG is back, and they vaulted the Fiend Bow and the Pumpkin Launcher, and they fixed the 6-shooter's equip sound effect, which thereby makes the 6-shooter officially the first 100% accurate item in OG, which is honestly kind of sad that we've had to wait 6 seasons to get one item that's 100% accurate. And then they also fixed the bolts, equip, and reload sound effects. And then at some point else in this season after this update, they fixed the pump's reload speed, they fixed the ATK's health, speed, and handling, they fixed the shopping cart's health, and they fixed the Porta Fortress tires not spawning in the base. And then in Update 5 of this season, they disabled the mode for 12 days, because Chapter 7, the Dark Voyage, was shot down the battle bus, so therefore we have to keep OG disabled for a week longer than every other mode, because fuck those guys. Grenades, clingers, and boogie bombs now play a click sound when equipped, but they also fixed the rarity grid in this update as well as legendary coloring, which is really cool. Now we get to our end of season stats, with the total bugs on launch being 270, bugs added during the season was 40, total bugs fixed is 35, and total bugs fixed is 2, and that leaves our total bugs at the end at 270, which is the same as we had at the start. And now, most broken item board. Anybody want to take a guess? Anybody? Anybody want to take a wild guess as to what it could be? I'll bet you won't be able to figure it out. It's the pump shotgun. Of course it's the pump shotgun. What else would it be? Now going into the tier list. Honestly, I'd say with the amount of fixes that we got this season, I don't think I'd put this in F tier, definitely not. Probably not D tier. The start of the season is not something that I can ignore, so I don't think I could put this in B tier either. I'd probably put OG Season 6 in, like, C tier. We did get good fixes, but man, the start of this season was rough. Not to mention the fact that we had to deal with Havoc Stones for, the majority of the season's lifetime, man. This was a rough season, but we pulled through, and it ended out pretty decently. And now, our final season, Season 7. And I'm happy to report that Season 7 has actually been very, very good in terms of the state of this game. Starting with the thermal scoped AR, the scope is now wrong. It should be updated to be like the normal scoped AR, how it is currently. The heavy AR, they fixed its accuracy, but only on the blue rarity, and fixed by proxy, the icon is now correct. For the heavy shotgun, they fixed by proxy, the scope color is now accurate. For the hand cannon, its structure damage should now be 100 and 105. For dual pistols, there's nothing wrong with these anymore, so they are now officially the second ever OG item to be 100% accurate. For the scope revolver, it uses the incorrect scope and the camera zooms out when you fire it. For the bolt sniper, they fixed by proxy the projectile gravity is now correct, as well as the hunting rifle, which now makes the hunting rifle the third 100% accurate item. Everyone, let's give them a round of applause, even though they didn't really do anything to fix this. And for the silent sniper, they use the incorrect reload animation, incorrect scope, and incorrect pickup sound effects. The rocket launcher, they partially fixed its sound effects, and the reload speed should now be 3.42 and 3.24. And for the minigun, its windup time should now be 0.63 seconds, as the incorrect firing sound effects, but fixed by proxy, overheating is now a feature. Now for the small shield potion, fixed by proxy, its stack size is now correct. Now we'll move on to the grappler. It has the incorrect pickup sound effects. Dynamite is now missing its pickup sound effects, and it plays a click sound when equipped, and once again plays the raptor sounds when thrown. Why this happens? I have no clue, bro. For gliders, there's possibly nothing wrong with these. I really have no idea. For the boombox, throwing two boomboxes next to each other will cause the second one to stop wording when the first expires. To stop working when the first expires. I don't know what word came out of my mouth, but it wasn't the right one. For quad crashers, you can boost in the air again, but the speed is definitely way too high. For the Stormwing, they have a fuel overlay despite not using fuel. The turret accuracy is too low. Blowing up deals 25 damage to riders when it should be 50. The plane doesn't instantly disappear when destroyed, and leaving the plane does not give you redeploy. For the Storm, they fixed the clouds, and for other miscellaneous changes, there are no vending machines in the snow biome. Polar Peak is fully melted. The accuracy in air with balloons is way too low. The Infinity Blade is in the stone, but not actually disabled. The incorrect ice defeat are applied on Greasy Grove and Viking Village Lakes. But they fixed the zipline positions, they fixed trick music, and they fixed the down but not out bleed timer. And let me tell you something, bro. The first couple of weeks of this season were insane. The changes made throughout the first day of this season, they accidentally mega buffed the purple and gold AK's accuracy to now be like the best gun ever added to the game. They attempted once again to fix the burst AR's accuracy, but it still didn't work. But we have a whole shitload of fixes lined up right here. They fixed Polar Peak being melted, they fixed redeploy not being enabled for planes, they fixed the Infinity Blade being enabled, they fixed the decoy structure damage, they fixed the minigun's wind-up time, they fixed the RPG's reload speed, the burst AR's recoil, and the grappler charge amount. And then 4 days later, the gold bolt is now vaulted, they fixed the burst AR minigun and purple and gold AK's accuracy and recoil, therefore making the AK the 4th 100% accurate weapon in this game, and they fixed the Boogie Bomb drop size. And then 2 days after that, they fixed the heavy sniper's vehicle damage and knockback, and they fixed the blue tack structure damage, making it the 5th 100% accurate item in this game mode. And they fixed the green MP5 not being in chests. This was an insane run, bro. They fixed so much shit. It was crazy. And now for the first update of this season, they added presents. They replaced the grenade launcher with the snowball launcher, which is also another 100% accurate item. The gold dualies got put in supply drops for some reason. They removed icy feet from Greasy Grove and Viking Village instead of making the surfaces of them slippery, and they fixed the silenced snipers pickup sound effects, And for the bugs of the presents, harvesting sometimes gives you materials. But a couple hours after this, they fixed the gold dualies existing, and then in a random update, they also fixed the boombox thing that I was talking about earlier. And now for update 2, after claiming they would improve the skybox and lighting, they only changed the nighttime, which is probably the biggest disappointment this entire season. They vaulted presence, they added new night fog, but it only appears in a certain small area of the map. They reverted icy feet, and they partially fixed the windscreen, so only half of the old sound is actually back. But they tried, I guess. They also fixed the grappler pickup sound effects, they fixed vending machines not being in a snow biome, they fixed the accuracy when using balloons, and they fixed the ATK's air handling. And then for a weekend event, they added the Infinity Blade. And there were quite a few bugs with that too. You cannot build or harvest while holding the blade. It takes way longer than it should to recover from the slam. The structure damage is only 600 when it should be 10,000. It's missing its rarity grid too. And then 3 days later they vaulted the Infinity Blade. And another pretty huge update for us right here, update 3. They partially fixed quads not being able to break structures, but it is very inconsistent. The pistol and silenced pistol are now semi-auto, which isn't a bug, but I kind of thought that it was intended that they were automatic. I thought that was one of the quality of life things that they mentioned in Season 1, but I guess they didn't see it as such. But they fixed the RPG sound effects fully, they fixed the minigun sound effects, they fixed the grenade stack size, which is the first time they've ever fixed anything stack size. They fixed the vending machine interact speed, they fixed the pistol's name, and they fixed the night fog not applying globally. And then for update 4, which is the mid-season content update, they added the infantry rifle, bottle rockets, ice grenades, snowmen, and driftboards. They unvaulted the silenced SMG and clingers, and they vaulted the bolt, heavy shoddy, MP5, remaining burst variants, the quad launcher, the grenades, the grappler, the porta fortress, and the boombox. The gold dualies are back again. The low-tier pump equipped sound effects are now really low-pitched. The silenced SMG now uses the silenced pistol firing sound effects, so where the silenced pistol used to be the silenced SMG, the silenced SMG is now the silenced pistol. If you notice that something is missing here, I just forgot to remove it because I didn't realize that I put it up earlier. They mostly fixed the loot tables, but there are still a few inaccuracies, but they are so much better than they used to be. For one, shotguns can no longer spawn in chests, aside from the purple and gold pump, which is crazy. I never thought they'd do that, but that's actually super cool. Rocket riding is now impossible because of the way that they tried to fix the rocket's model, which I have right down here. They fixed the model, but they copied the model over from Save the World, so now that rocket doesn't have a hitbox like the BR one does, so you can't rocket ride on it anymore. And the dynamite spark is now located in your ass. That's not a joke. That's not even a joke. They actually did that. And they didn't enable Siphon, which is another huge disappointment. I really wish that they did. But they fixed the dynamite's throw arc, they fixed the pump's equip sound timing, and they fixed the rocket model, like I mentioned a little bit earlier. And now for the bugs with the newly added items, which there aren't really a lot. For the infantry rifle, I don't think there's anything wrong, but there could be. I'm not 100% sure. For bottle rockets, there's something on the Trello that says that the projectiles are a bit wrong, but I don't even know how to describe that, so I just said that I just wrote this I'm not sure. For chillers and sneaky snowmen, I don't think there's anything wrong with them. And for driftboards, they're missing a lot of small locations. And one day later, they actually fixed clanger structure damage. And then we've got like the ice storm arc happening about here. A week later, they vaulted the thermal AR in preparation for the ice storm, but they forgot to remove it from supply drops. A day later, they added Cupid's crossbow, which has a couple of other bugs as well. The damage is 89 when it should be 79. The structure damage is 89 when it should be 1. The fire rate is 0.75 when it should be 0.6. The reload time is 2.14 when it should be 2.47, and the spread is very inaccurate. The next day, they vaulted the Cupid bow and they unvaulted the Fiend bow. And then the day after that, the ice storm began, and there's a couple of bugs here as well. It has basically the same like bugs as the old Fort Nightmares. Zombie spawns are at preset locations, the same spawning logic as Fort Nightmares, as I previously said. The blue RPG is back again, and they had special fog made specifically for the ice storm, but it's disabled for some reason. And then the day after that, they unvaulted thermal AR because the fog doesn't work. And in update 5, they removed a sniper glare, which was stated to be intended, but I guess they went back on it. And then a couple of final fixes. They fixed the pump's equip pitch, they fixed Silence SMG's firing sound effects, they fixed the gold dualies existing again, and campfires burning you. They also fixed that too, which is crazy. So we're now on to our final bit. Total bugs on launch of the season was 285, bugs added during the season was 25, total bugs fixed was 44, total bugs fixed was 5, and then total bugs at the end of the season was 270. And to nobody's surprise, look who's back again. And now for our final season on this tier list, OG Season 7. Honestly, with how much stuff got fixed this season, this is definitely at least B tier. But I feel almost inclined to put it in A tier. Due to the sheer enjoyment factor of just how good these fixes that we've gotten are, especially the first week, that shit was insane. Genuinely, I think I'm gonna do it. I think that OG Season 7 is going in A tier, right alongside Season 1. I didn't think that I'd be doing this on like when I was brainstorming my ideas. I kind of figured that it would be in B tier, but I guess I had a change of heart. You know, I'm just very happy with how the game mode is right now. Obviously, still quite a lot of bugs, but you know, we are in a better feeling state than we were, I don't know, let's say Season 3, Season 5, places like that. The game feels better, and I'm just happy about that. So this is my final ranking for each of the seasons of OG. If you want to know like my specifics for this, I'd probably put Season 5 ahead of Season 3 if we're gonna order the tier list. Other than that, this is pretty much how it would go. So yeah, that's it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Don't click off yet because I'm going to be giving away a battle pass. For those of you that are unaware, in my OG series where I predict what's going to be wrong, I was wrong about fucking 39 different things. Or wait, no, I was either right or wrong about 39 different things. Either way, this is the lowest accuracy rating that I've ever gotten. So just leave a comment down below if you want to enter the giveaway. Don't comment more than once or I'm not going to pick you. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. I don't fucking know. Use my creator code, whatever the big YouTubers tell you to do. And yeah, that's it. See ya.